Do one push-up. Honestly, do a push-up right now. Alright? If this is too much asked, do one push-off. Push off the wall just by standing slightly leaning towards the wall and just in a slight incline and then push yourself off the wall once. Honestly, if you don't do it, the rest of this video won't be as powerful as it will be, and you might even feel really bad about yourself that you didn't do that one thing. You can do one push-up or one push-off easily. In 10 seconds, I assume you did one. Do it with me right now. I will do one push-up. Push-off. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I did even 2. Congratulations. You just increased the likelihood of you doing the same thing tomorrow, and you used the principle that we will be talking about in this video. And maybe after a month of doing one single morning push-up, you will start to talk with people. Oh, hey, I'm doing like this one push-up in the morning. Or you even start adding a second push-up. Oh my god. Or you start doing one pull-up every time you walk out the door and buy yourself like a pull-up thing. That's something that I did for a long time. And while doing that, while talking to people, you identify as someone who just does pull-ups and push-ups every day. And you start maybe being invited to go with the gym with them or go play basketball with them. And that way you start identifying as someone who does that stuff, and therefore at some point builds naturally the body of like a, similar to me, Greek god-like athlete or whatever body you want. Okay, maybe I have a little bit in the end gone a little bit too far, but the power of the philosophy we will discuss in this video is still true, and it's the philosophy of Kaizen, which is the Japanese way, honestly, to greatness. As you can see from the thumbnail, it is Kai, which means change, and Zen to good. Or yeah, so pretty simple. This philosophy was first taught and used after the Second World War, and there was Edward Deming who taught the managers when, for instance, Toyota and Ford was still really small, on his ideas of organizational structure, and he taught that idea of Kaizen, of continuously improving in small steps. And in our Western hemisphere, in our Western hemisphere, we love big innovations. Businesses want to be groundbreakingly new and different. And you may also want to change your whole life yesterday, ideally. It's that angry little voice inside of your head that wants change to happen yesterday, or at least right now, and certainly not tomorrow. And it tells you to change your complete diet right now. Go sign up to that 200 euro gym and buy all the sports clothes and start a new business tomorrow and completely revolutionize your life. To be honest, as you may have realized, I am and was guilty of that, and I even encouraged you or others in these videos to do the same. I went around asking you to imagine your ideal future, imagine where you are right now, and then think of the big 3 steps to get from A to B. The 3 big, innovative, new steps to change everything. And I do still believe those big questions are valuable. For instance, what are the biggest problems in the world? What is the root cause and how can we solve that? It's good to think about it. Yet, with questions like this, if we try to act out the answers that we get, we start to activate, we start to activate the amygdala, and our brain, even if we don't recognize it, goes into fight or flight. Yes, fight or flight. That is the reason you don't start fight, flight, or freeze. And it's the reason you don't start your homework or start that book or ask that girl that you always wanted to ask out to dance. You feel fear. Yes, even if you don't realize it. It's often called resistance, stress, overwhelm, having no time right now, or whatever your quote-unquote excuse, reason is not to do it. Yet, fear is a good sign, by the way. Fear is a sign of ambition, it's a sign of hunger. But to make something real, use Kaizen. It will help you tiptoe your way around, above or underneath your fear, and helps you do it anyway. To start using Kaizen in your life, you can start asking small questions, thinking, small actions, thinking even small thoughts, taking small actions, solving small problems, and even bestowing small rewards and identifying small moments. For instance, you can ask small questions to yourself or to others. Like to yourself, you can ask, what is a small trivial step I could do today to move my life forward? That is basically the ultimate Kaizen question, if you want to implement it into your life. To test if you came up with a good answer, see if others would probably laugh at it. Like just flossing one single tooth every day, or doing one push-up or push-off in the morning of a wall. If anything you say feels too big, or you don't actually can convince yourself to do that little thing, make it even smaller. Break it down. Or you can ask questions to others, like, do you have literally 60 seconds for me to just vent out my problems today to you? Or you can ask them, what is one small trivial thing we could do together to make our relationship even better? Thinking small thoughts, like thinking one positive thing about what you liked about you every evening, or every time you meet someone or you approach someone where you felt that little bit of, like, okay, I'm approaching. Every time you approach a stranger, just however the stranger reacts, congratulate you to overcoming that resistance to just doing it, for being a person that approaches strangers. And doing small actions. Could be writing one kind note a day, like just one sentence to someone you care about, and leaving it somewhere in a box or somewhere else in their computer, or on their door, wherever, for them to find. And another thing you could do is, before doing even an action, if even the small action seems to you like it's too big, use the 5-second rule from Mel Robbins, where you actually say, okay, The small action is just a 5-second action. Can you do something for 5 seconds? Yes. And the 5 seconds you use to count yourself down. Just start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this will help you to lower your action threshold so far that you can actually use that trigger to then do the small action you set out to do. And you can solve small problems by looking at those small little annoyances and minor problems that you have throughout the day and start thinking how you can solve them, and just repeat that question to yourself, because your mind always comes up with some answer if you just keep repeating those small little problems. And it doesn't have to be anything big. And because the way you do one thing is how you do everything. So you start caring about all these little things. And it's okay to have like a little problem and instantly go to a doctor. Like, for instance, I learned about all of this in this, that's where it's also inspired, this idea, from a book called Small Steps to Change Your Life. It's a great audiobook or book. And I feel back pain, and it would be okay for me to start going to a doctor, even though I feel like, oh, it's just so small. But those small things can compound to something big. Or, for instance, the example that was given in this one was a person that got angry at other drivers, and that person felt really bad because he went to that psychologist that wrote this book, because his wife sent him. But he said, hey, first of all, there is some study about how shouting at or like being angry at other drivers and so on does have a correlation to shorter lifespan and so on, and all kinds of diseases, and stress-related diseases. And the reason is because, hey, if he can't enjoy his life while sitting beside the woman of his dreams, driving to a job that he actually likes, if he even gets angry there, what would happen if things start breaking down? He can use this time in his car to master his emotions and to train his emotions. And he just gave him the advice of, for instance, for looking for one situation every time he drives where he can be kind to some other driver. So instead of focusing on who is doing something evil, he was looking for a situation where someone is like cutting him off. He was looking for a situation where he could let someone in front of him. He was looking for situations like that. He was looking to be kind every drive he took. Yes, and then bestowing small rewards. For instance, if you want to motivate your team to give you more feedback, to help you figure out those small things that could improve the process, those small actions you could actually implement because they're small enough to make a change, that compound over time, start not giving them those huge rewards just if they come up with a groundbreaking idea, but give them small coupons or small rewards for them to just come up to you and give you any kind of small implementable action step to fix small problems. And this way you will start to create a culture of continual improvement, and your workflow will improve over time more and more. And lastly, realize those small moments. Identify those small moments. And that is just about going through the day, realizing and seeing that smile on that other person when you are being kind to them in the car, or watching a leaf fall down a tree and thinking of all the autumns you had where you had a little paper dragon. I don't know. Is it called paper dragon, where you can fly in the wind with it, or just enjoying those small moments, biting into an apple and thinking when you worked on a farm, or just enjoying the taste of the apple? That is Kaizen. Imagine everyone lived by this philosophy, and we started to honor and adore and hold people high for those small things, because they are, in the end, what truly matters. All those small compounded things. Now, what is one laughably small thing you could do right now that would improve your life? Answer it. What is one laughable small thing you could do right now that would improve